Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am just checking to make sure that I have volume. Good morning. Yes, I do. I do. All right, awesome. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Let us be glad in it. Good morning, Tawana. Thank you so much for being here today. Come on in, everyone. Let me know that you are here with me. Let me know that you are ready for day 23 of our self reflection challenge. Good morning, Renee. Welcome to our challenge today. I'm excited to be with you. It is getting closer and closer to Christmas. And so I'm wishing you peace and blessings and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Come on in and let's become a part of this party. Welcome, welcome. I'm happy that you are here with me this morning. Listen, I thank you all for participating in this challenge. I know that for 31 days straight, it could be tough, but you know what? Success comes by choice, not by chance. And you have to be willing to do today what others won't in order to have tomorrow what others don't. And so I welcome you and I'm excited for you. And I pray for you because I know that God has bigger, better, and bolder things in store for you. How do I know that? Because He said that every spiritual blessing that you need, He has seated it in heavenly places before the foundations of the world. And so God is already saying that the provision that you have, that I have given you, that you need in order to go from here to there, it is already in place. It's already in place. Everything that I am going to do for you, I have already done for you. Does that make sense? Everything that I have done for you, or everything I will do for you, is already done for you. Good morning, Marquita. And so it's not a matter of asking God, God, can you do this for me? God, can you do that for me? Hey, Nisha, good morning. It's not about asking Him, God, can you do this for me? Or God, can you give me this? God is saying, I've already done that for you. I've already given you this. Now I need for you to take it. Now I need for you to take it. And that's a beautiful thing. And so you're not asking God to heal you. You're not asking God to bring you prosperity. You're not asking God to fix this or fix that. You're saying, Father, in heaven, I know that you've already done those things, because before you even started, you were completed. You don't start a thing until it's completed. So Lord, I ask that you reveal to me, even this morning, um, there are some things I really need some answers to. And my conversation with the Lord was, listen, God, you live in me. Christ Jesus lives in me. I have the mind of Christ. And so there are some things right now that I need some answers to. And you said the kingdom of heaven is within me because Christ is in me. So I am asking you to upload the answers to me. See, I'm not asking Him to download, because He lives in me. So Lord, I'm asking you to upload the answers in my spirit, so that my spirit can teach my mind, so that I can go ahead and move out. And so the thing about it is, you be very intentional about what it is that you stand in the need of. I literally write out, God, this is what I need answers to. This is what I need wisdom on. This is what I need knowledge on. This is what I need information on. And I will literally write it out, take a look at it before I go to bed, and then I will pray and go to bed. Why? Because while I am sleeping, my spirit never sleeps. Your spirit never sleeps. And so my body sleeps, my soul sleeps, but my spirit never sleeps. And so while you are resting, you allow your spirit to connect with God's spirit, so that the answer is coming, because God says He will enlighten your darkness. He said he will enlighten your darkness. And so good morning, and welcome. Thank you all for being here today. I am totally in love with you all because you are desiring to be who God has called you to be. And I'm not saying every day is easy. I'm just saying every day is worth it. Every day is worth it because God says he rewards those who diligently seek him. You know, different companies have reward points. Like if you shop with them a certain number of times, you get reward points. And we get excited about those reward points, don't we? We be like, bam, I purchased something through Amazon. I had $65 of reward points. And so I was like, use them $65 towards this thing that I want. And so we get excited about those reward points. Well, check this out. God said that if you diligently seek him, he will reward you. Now, I can promise you that those reward points from the grocery store or from the department store has nothing on the rewards that God has for us. He specifically used that word in the Bible. He said, I diligently reward those who seek me. And so think about it. If you seek God, you may not see the reward today in the natural, but you just got to believe that, guess what? God does not break his promises. He is not a man that should lie. He said that whatever word he send out in the atmosphere is going to come back paid in full because he is the Alpha and the Omega, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And so you just got to know that the work that you have been doing for these last 23 days with improving yourself is not in vain. There will be some recompense for it. All right. Good morning, Simone. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Irene. Thank you all for being here. And so I want you to think about something that we're going to talk about, because as you can see in today's title, I said, listen, jump off the cliff and grow wings coming down. And you might say, hold up, LaShonda, don't I need the wings before I jump off the cliff? In the natural, but in the spiritual, you got to jump off the cliff and grow wings coming down, because the Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence unseen. So you got to go all in based on your faith, based on what I cannot see. But because God said it, I'm just going to launch out into the deep. Isn't that what he told the disciples? He told them to take the boat and launch out into the deep, meaning that going out there, I got you. Think about it. Peter said, if it's you, Lord, bid me to come to you. Peter said, I will do the uncommon thing. I will do the unnatural thing. I will step out there, Lord God, but I just need to know that it's okay with you. As long as I know it's okay with you, I'm on it. I'm on it. Okay. And so today I want to talk to you about something that sometimes we don't like to talk about. All right. As a matter of fact, let me show you the challenge first, and then I'll give you a little detail about it, because I want you to see that this particular topic is not foreign to the Bible. It's laced in the Bible. So I want you to get comfortable, because in 2021, you're going to have to be able to do this. All right. And here is what I want you to do. I know my little words is a little, but you can read it. Day 23, what risk did I take this year? And what are my next steps? What risk did I take this year? And what are my next steps? And so let me kind of paint this picture for you. All right. We're talking about risk takers. Yeah, in 2021, you're going to have to be a risk taker. All right. Risk takers are people who are willing to kick fear aside and take on the challenges, regardless of the outcome. Because you can't necessarily get so married to the outcome. Do the thing and get the power. So you got to get laser focused on doing the thing. Risk takers are the people. Risk takers are the people. They say yes without hesitation, and when a situation seems hopeless, they trust God's guidance even more. You see this? When a situation seems hopeless, they don't turn to fear. They don't turn to worry. They don't turn to insecurity. They don't turn to doubt. When a situation looks hopeless, they turn to God even more. They press into God even more because they know that He is the author and the finisher of their faith, right? And I got to tell you, there were times, right? There were times where I wanted to be a risk taker. I haven't always been a risk taker, but there are times I wanted to be a risk taker because I longed to be brave for God, right? But you know what held me back? Fear. Fear held me back every time I got an opportunity to take a risk, right? And maybe you have been there too. You may feel compelled to move forward, but fear surfaces and it persuades you to just stay put, stay where you're at, stay exactly where you at. And it presents that same old argument that it's not safe. As if that were not enough, it convinces you that you would not make a difference anyway. Anyone felt like that before? And if you were like I was, then guess what? You give in. But I got some good news for you. Thankfully, the Bible teaches us about ordinary women, not just men. It teaches us about ordinary women who took big risks for God. And at that crucial moment, when a decision had to be made, they chose the risk. They didn't choose the safety zone. They didn't choose the comfort zone. Because guess what? If you never take a risk, then you're never going to have more than what you got right now. Okay? Everything that you have right at this very moment, you are maintaining it in your comfort zone. So if you want to go out into the deep, if you want to have more than what you have right now, if you want to live greater and go higher, you're going to have to take a risk. And when these women took a risk, the results made history. Why do I say they made history? I say they made history because we get a chance to read about them today. So I'm going to give you 3 women that you can go back and take a look at on your own, study their life and see what was their motivating force, because that's something that we want to develop in them. I look at it like this. If God put them in the Bible, I need to learn from them. You know, God put Judas in the Bible. I need to learn from him on what not to do. And God put those who He approved of in the Bible. And guess what? We need to learn from them too. And so here are 3 women in the Bible who can teach you and I a thing or two about taking risks. All right. And so let us allow their stories to give us inspiration today as we learn how to be bold and bolder for God. I hope that makes sense. All right. And so you can write these women down in the comments. All right. The first one is Abigail. I don't know if you know about Abigail, but Abigail was not having it. She was married to a cruel man, a rude man, and an arrogant man, and a man obviously that didn't have much sense. Now, he was a wealthy man, but when it came time for him to do the right thing, he did not do it, and it could have cost him his life. However, because of his wife, she spared him. And so let me share with you, her name is Abigail. Desperate situations call for extreme measures, right? And Abigail knew this very well. When her husband, and his name was Nabal, he actually hurled an insult at David, the future king. Now, don't y'all remember that David, he slayed Goliath? David took down bears and lions. I ain't hurling no insults at him. Right? I ain't hurling no insults at him. Right? And so he hurled this insult at David, and it was so unnecessary. But Abigail acted quickly, right? And This was not your average insult. See, David came to Nabal requesting food for his army. Nabal not only rejected the request, but he also lowered David's name to a place of dishonor. Who is this David? He said. The words left a sting so poisonous that David felt his only recourse was retaliation. He set out to kill Nabal and all his men. See, what happened was David and his men was protecting their land from the enemy, right? They were protecting the land from the enemy. And that included Nabal's land. So here it is, David and his army is protecting your property, protecting your crops, protecting your stock, your livestock. And when he and his men came to just ask you for food, you rejected him. And that was a huge insult. And then had the nurse say, who is David? Like you didn't know. And so in spite of her husband's bad choice, Abigail jumped into action. Nabal would never have consented to Abigail's decision. Because of this, she moved forward in secret. She did not tell her husband what she was getting ready to do. She did not, right? She did not tell him. And so Abigail's name means the joy of her father. And no doubt she brought joy to her heavenly father that day when she offered the best gifts to David. Abigail knew the wisdom of Proverbs 21:14, a gift given in secret soothes anger, right? And so she presented her gifts to David in the most submissive, respectful way. She bowed down in his presence to ask forgiveness of her on behalf of her husband. And David was so moved by Abigail's elegant request and speech, he thanked God for sending her. God honored her courage by bringing justice upon Nabal while keeping David free from the burden of needless bloodshed. David was furious and he was going to kill him, and he was going to have to come back and ask for forgiveness because he knew God didn't tell him to kill him, but his emotions roiled up. And so Abigail risked her relationship with her husband to diffuse a deadly situation. You see where I'm going? She took a risk. She took a risk. She put it on the table. Either we gonna die or I'm gonna leave this or this relationship. Which one? And she figured if I go this route here and approach him in a manner that he can't resist, then I save me, I save our property, I save our land, I save my husband. In the end, Nabal wound up dying anyway. And guess what? David took Abigail as his wife. So that's a whole nother picture. But I'm just trying to show you risk takers. Here's another. Y'all remember Rahab, right? Y'all remember Rahab? Scripture describes Rahab as a harlot, but her past sins faded away when we see how she risked her own life to help Joshua's men spy out the land. Y'all remember that, right? Rahab not only hid the men on her rooftop, but she also lied to the king's men who asked about them. Again, she put her life in jeopardy to do the right thing for God. Right now, like I said, punishment for lying to the king would be severe, but this didn't deter Rahab from her goal, ensuring the safety of her family. That's what it was all about. Because remember, the spies told her, if you allow us to be here, then we will make sure that when we come in and destroy the land, we will spare your family. And so she said, I fear God over the king. I fear God over the king, because if I let them in, the king has a punishment for me. But if I don't, knowing that these are the children of Israel, we are already terrified of them, because what we know that God is with them. She said, you know what? I'm about to disobey the king, and I am getting ready to do what God has told me to do. So Rahab knew what was about to happen to her city, and she acknowledged God's sovereignty. She said, for the Lord your God is God in heaven and above and on the earth below. So she shared her belief and extended and offer to Joshua's men, right? She would help them in exchange for her family's protection. The men agreed, and as a result, Joshua did spare Rahab. She and her family lived among the Israelites from that point on. Rahab took a big risk, setting her life on a course to be used by God in an even bigger way, right? But check this out. Jesus falls in the lineage of Rahab. Yeah, Jesus falls in the lineage of Rahab. And that is so interesting because she had to make this decision before Jesus got on the scene. What if she would have made the wrong decision, right? And lost her life? We don't even want to think about that. But do you see how taking risks for God is okay? I'm not telling you to go out there and take no foolish risk. That's not inspired by God at all. What I am saying is, in order for us to live greater and go higher and do bigger things in 2021 is going to require us to partner up with the Lord. And there are times where God is going to have you take a risk. You are the only one that don't know what the outcome is going to be. God already knows what the outcome is going to be. And so I remember when God said, hey, you are victorious. He told me, you are victorious. Victory is on your life. So that means that never should I be fearing anything, because of the fact that God has already promised me victory. All right. God has already promised me victory. And then the last lady that I'll mention to you, her name is Joanna. Right? Joanna's name is only mentioned briefly in scripture, but the words used to describe her show her willingness to go where the Savior led and help in whatever way that she could. Joanna was among the devoted women who traveled with Jesus. You know, they don't talk about the women that traveled with Jesus. You hear a lot about the men that traveled with Jesus, but there was a secure group of women that also traveled with Jesus during his time on earth, right? And she either had a terrible disease or was overcome by evil spirits, and Jesus healed her, restored her, and accepted her. And most amazing of all, Joanna supported Jesus and the apostle out of her own means. So she looked at what God had did for her, and she said, there is no way that I can't support this man. There is no way I can't follow him. There is no way I can't provide for him. Sort of like you and I. Look at what Jesus has brought us out of. Jesus have brought out of addictions. He has brought out of bad relationships. He has brought out of poverty. He has brought out of just sin in general. He has brought out of bondage. And so because he has brought us out of this place, we should be willing to serve him in any way that he asks of us to serve him. We should be willing to give of our resources, of our time, of our talents in any way because of what he has done for us. And so Joanna was one who was willing to give and serve Jesus and the disciples out of her own means. Now, why was this such an integral detail in Joanna's story? Because Joanna had connections with Herod, right? Her husband held an important job at the palace. Okay, now you remember that Herod was the one who his lineage wanted to kill Jesus. He was Herod's household manager, his right-hand man. So check this out. Herod don't like Jesus, want to kill Jesus at all costs. You're married to his right-hand man, yet you support Jesus. Is that not taking a risk or what? And so we remember Herod as one of those responsible for having John the Baptist beheaded. Remember that? And so Luke 23:11 reveals how he treated Jesus. Herod and his soldiers ridiculed and mocked Jesus, yet the wife of the man appointed to oversee his entire estate faithfully followed Jesus. She also supported Jesus' ministry with her finances. Joanna's role in Jesus' ministry was a risk, but her connection to the palace did not deter her, right, from her calling. She gladly risked it all for her Lord. And God rewarded Joanna for her dedication. She was among the first to see the empty tomb and learn that Jesus Christ, her healer and deliverer, had risen just as he promised. Think about that. You don't hear of Joanna being at the tomb. You hear of the Marys being at the tomb, but she was also one that was at the tomb. God allowed her to see that he had risen, just like he had promised. So look, taking a risk is not always easy, but when you take risks for God, it's always worth it. It's always worth it. Does that make sense? It's always worth it. And so I want to know from you, hey, what risk did you take this year? Did you take risks on behalf of the Lord, or did you take risks that just really didn't serve you? You know, what risk did you take this year? And what are your next steps? What are your next steps? All right. Did you take any risk for the Lord? Did you take any risk for the Lord? Or were all of your risks more personal, more financial, unnecessary? You know, identify it, because God is going to call you to have to take a risk. So you can't fear taking risks. Think about Joshua. He told Joshua, you got to go into this land, the promised land. There are giants living on the land, but I promise you that land belongs to you because I have given it to you. However, you're going to have to fight for it. But he said, be courageous, do not be afraid. So that was a risk. The people, the generation before Joshua decided not to take the risk. They decided that the risk was too great. They decided that the risk was too great. They said, man, those people are giants and we are grasshoppers. Right? They decided that the risk was too great. And so they chose not to take the risk. But check this out. Check this out. Check this out. And Marquita, Joanna was the one. Yes, absolutely. She was healed by Christ and she honored him. Check this out. If the children of Israel would have really thought this thing through, they would have seen, look, here are our options. We either die in the wilderness or die trying to take the promised land. That would have been in the carnal. We're going to die in the wilderness or die in the promised land. All right. But the reality is they were not going to die in the promised land. They were not going to die in the promised land. God had already said that the land is flowing with milk and honey. That means he's going to allow you to live in the promised land. But their thinking was so opposite of God that they accused God of bringing them in the wilderness to kill them. They even decided that, look, let's just go back to Egypt. Let's just go back. I know it was hard and rough, but at least we had some food. They were so detached from what God had promised. Why? Because of fear. Because of fear. Those 10 spies that came back put fear in their heart. They never, the majority of the children of Israel never saw the giants in the land. They never saw the promised land. They decided to listen to those 10 scary leaders. And because of what those 10 scary leaders said, they died in the wilderness. Not because of what God did, but because what they believed. They believed that the risk was too great. Joshua, on the other hand, once he got to be leader, he said, we going to the promised land because I wasn't scared 40 years ago and I'm not scared now. And guess what? He moved forward on God's command and he had an opportunity to live in the promised land along with those who went with him. So look, when God say do something, it's really not a risk because he's already promised you victory in the end. is worse to stay where you at. Think about it. When he told Abram, get up, leave everything that you know, and go where I'm directing you, it was more of a risk to stay there. Because once he left, God provided all of his needs. He didn't want for anything. You don't read anywhere in the Bible where Abram and then who became Abraham wanted for anything. He did what God told him to do. So what I'm saying is, yes, be willing to take a risk because you already know what the outcome is. The outcome is victory. The outcome is what God said it is. But if you stay and allow fear to consume you and to persuade you that taking this risk is not safe, you will be just like the children of Israel. Die right there. And it may be first a spiritual death. It may be an untimely physical death. But I'm just saying, you got to be willing to do what God has told you to do. Take a risk, okay? Bet on God. Bet on God. He's never lost. He's never lost. If you look through the Bible, God has never lost. He's never, ever lost. Even when Jesus died on the cross, he still won because he said, hey, I'm going to die on this cross, but in 3 days, I can guarantee you I'm going to rise again. And what happened? In 3 days, he rose again and never to have to die that type of death again. Do you hear me? So this year, make it your business that you're going to take a risk. But in order to take that risk, you got to be willing to hear from God. So you got to close out all the other thoughts. You know, there are times when I'm like, God, I really need to hear from you. Silence all voices, including my own. Silence all voices, including my own, because sometimes I don't even want my own thoughts to get in the middle of it. I only want to hear from you, Lord. Silence all voices, including my own. And that's why most times I don't even tell people when I am trying to come up with a decision or something like that, or I need to make a decision. I don't tell people because I don't want a whole lot of voices. So it's just like me and you, God, we are the only ones that know about this. All right. And so listen, different topic today, but that's all right. Different topic today. But it's a part of the challenge. So day 23 is all about taking risk because you and I are going to be required to take risk. Okay. But you plus God are the majority. All right. So listen, may God bless you and may God keep you this day. Listen, don't forget. And for those of you who pre-order, listen, I got a plan. You better believe I got a plan. Come January 1, you absolutely will be able to document your stuff in your journal. You hear me? I have a plan. I've been talking to God about this. And so I'm super, super excited about it. Every day that I look at this, I get more amazed. Look, if you have not already done so, grab your journal. Thank you from a grateful heart. It is a journal, a woman's journal to capturing God's heart through gratitude. All right. Yesterday, I put a petition out there. I said, listen, order you one and then order the additional one as a gift. And, you know, people actually did it. And I'm super, super excited about it. This is a masterpiece and it's going to be an even better masterpiece when your writing gets in it. OK, when you're writing, because this is going to be your journey. It's your journey to you capturing God's heart through gratitude. This is your journey. I'm just a facilitator, just like I am facilitating this 31-day self-reflection challenge. I am facilitating this, but this is me facilitating in writing. I am facilitating your journey to being grateful so that God will bless you even more. The only reason he gave me this assignment is because he said, LaShonda, I want my children to be grateful so that I can pour even more blessings upon them. So I already know what your outcome is going to be. I already know what your outcome is going to be. Your outcome is going to be blessings. Here's the thing. Will you invest $19.99 though? That let's just say that's the risk. The risk is investing $19.99. Right? But will you be willing to invest the $19.99 so that you can get what God has promised is going to be the outcome? God didn't tell me to do a 30-day journal because it would have been smaller. Look at how thick this is. It absolutely would have been smaller. He didn't say do a 30-day journal. He didn't say do a 60-day journal. He said do a 90-day. He didn't say do a 120-day journal either. He said do a 90-day journal. So for me, I believe there is something in the 90 days that God wants to reveal, because he said do a 90-day journal. And so I believe it's something in the 90 days that he wants to reveal. And so guess what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. God, do a ton of breakthroughs in the first quarter of 2021, because I don't want you to start writing in this until January 1. I don't want you to do anything. I want you to just kind of start setting your mind and your heart towards gratitude. And what's amazing is, remember, the children of Israel were full of complaining. They were filled with murmuring. They were filled with groaning. So they were not grateful for nothing. And look what happened. The children of Israel were not grateful for anything. They wasn't grateful that during the day God provided the cloud so that the sun wouldn't burn them up in the desert. They were not grateful that at night God was a fire so they didn't freeze to death at nighttime. They were not grateful that God sent manna for them to eat. They were not grateful that God did the impossible thing by making water appear in a desert. You and me both know ain't no water in the desert. They were not grateful. They were not grateful. And look what happened. Because of their ingratitude, they did not make it to the promised land. They were not grateful that the creator of the heavens and the earth was with them. They were not grateful that he said that I am with you, that I have given you this land filled with milk and honey. Instead of pursuing the land filled with milk and honey, they wanted to go back to Egypt in bondage. All because they were not grateful for what God has done for them. So I know God is saying ingratitude don't work for me. So we're not taking ingratitude into 2021. We're not taking complaining into 2021. We're not taking murmuring and groaning into 2021. We're taking gratitude into 2021. We're taking gratitude. We are going to remember all of the benefits. God said, forget not all his benefits. So listen, if I can't remember every one of them, you better believe I'm going to be intentional about looking for it. Anything that happens to me that I didn't deserve, anything that happened because someone decided to be kind to me, anything that goes on in the day where I'm like, you know what, God, I had nothing to do with that. That was all you. You better believe it's going into this journal, because I want God to see I recognize, Lord, I recognize when my family makes it back home from work, I understand that that's God. He has protected them from incidents and accidents, seen and unseen dangers. You know what I'm saying? And so we taking gratitude into 2021, and we're going to start the year off right. So get your journal. All right. It's nothing lightweight at all. It's 200. Let me just tell you, it's 282 pages. Okay. It's 282 pages. It's filled with 90 days of gratitude. Every day has 3 days of work for it. So you got 90 scriptures, you got 90 testimonials, you got activities for 90 days in the morning, you got activities for 90 days in the evening. Okay. Gratitude is going to be second nature to you. That's what we want. That's what we want. Gratitude. All right. And so listen, if you haven't already done so, I got to let you know how you can get your journal. You can get it directly on Amazon. Order your journal. All right. So look, if you order it today, I can't guarantee that it is going to be there through Amazon, because they taking y'all orders first. They placed y'all orders over my orders. What? I'm the author, man. And they place y'all orders over my orders. And so if you order today, I believe it'll get there the day after Christmas, the 26th, because Amazon is basically who's delivering it. Their drivers are delivering it. They're not giving it to the post office. Their drivers are delivering it. And what I love is that all of their fulfillment centers are making it available. So I know the fulfillment center in Illinois. I know the fulfillment center in Texas, and there are a few more fulfillment centers. And so I'm super, super excited about that. I'm on the line with them every day. I'm like, listen, I know I appreciate the customer too, but can y'all send me my copies? Because I got to sign these copies. I got to get their free gift out. Can you send me my copies though? Right. But I got a plan. I definitely have a plan. So just understand that, okay, come January 1, you will be able to participate. I promise you, those who did the pre-orders. All right. So listen, 2021, we're going in with much gratitude, and we're going to build on it. We're going to build on it. And guess what? Your family, it's going to trickle off on your family. So just think, your children are now grateful. You are grateful. Your spouse is now grateful. Man, can you imagine what God is going to do for your household because you're grateful? He's not going to deny. He's not going to act like he don't see it. Right? He even told us to enter his courts with praise and thanksgiving. Enter his gates, enter his courts, praise and thanksgiving. He's not saying that just to be saying something. There is a promise for you. All right. And thank you so much, Marquita, for putting it in the comments. So those of you who are like, that little thing is going a little bit too fast, Marquita has put it in the comments already. And all you have to do is go ahead and just click on it and order it today. And hold on, I'm going to remove the scroll. How about that? There you go. All right. There you go. Order Thank You from a Grateful Heart directly from Amazon, HTTPS, because it's secure, abbreviated Amazon.2/37TGOYN. That just sounds weird. That's what Amazon gave me. I'm thinking I want to change that up a little bit, make my own thing. But anyway, that's what they gave me. So God bless you. Thank you so much for your support. And I'm looking forward. We might have to do something with this journal, like almost like a book club or something like that. I'm gonna ask God, what do you want me to do? I have a QR code, right? I have a QR code, and if you scan the QR code with your phone, it will lead to something else. So I'm thinking that everybody who have the book, I'm gonna put the QR code in the group, or just put it on my Facebook. Probably if I can put it somewhere where if you got the book, you just scan it, and then it'll have all these little extra things that I'm gonna make available, like some extra trainings on gratitude, or some extra techniques, or something like that. But I got to figure out how I want to use the QR code. But God is going to reveal it to me. So I am excited. I am excited about it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Irene said, everyone needs this book. We all have so much to be grateful for. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm super, super excited about it. And can I just say something? Listen, I had this book, right? I had it, and I sent it to a few people. And when I got the cover design, because remember I told you that God had changed the cover. What you see now was not the original cover. God gave it to me while I was praying. And so I sent the cover to a few people, and I told them, I said, take a look at this. How does this make you feel when you look at it? See, I said, how does this make you feel when you look at this? What feelings do you have? Do you, and I didn't try to prompt them, but I got back peace, surrender, serenity, and all of that. And my mentor, she's a millionaire. And she was like, and this was Thanksgiving Day. I showed this. She said, yeah, I know you gonna make this available today, right? I wasn't even thinking about making it available on Thanksgiving. I was going to totally wait till January. But that just goes to show how God can put people in your life to shift your thinking. And I'm so grateful that he said, remember to send it to her. And I did, and this is what we have. All right, so I'm excited. Rochelle, yes, ma'am. I am excited to get yours. And I know, Rochelle, you wasn't part of the pre-order. So if you did yours through Amazon, I don't even find out about it until after they ship it. But my husband has his. Everybody getting theirs except my 50 copies. What, can I get my 50 copies, Amazon? But that's okay, because I got a plan. I have a plan, y'all. I have a plan. So listen, thank y'all for being here today. I appreciate you so much. I'm just looking at your comments now. And Marquita, I adore you. Hey, Deanna, girlfriend. To everyone, if I didn't call your name out, I can see that you are here. Hey, Selma. Thank you all for being here so very much. May God bless you. May God keep you. Is my prayer. Let me just see who else. Oh, thank you, Marquita. I love you, girlfriend. Thank you. So look, day 24 is tomorrow. We only got 8 days left. Can you believe this? Only 8 days left of the challenge. These days just went by. God is so good. God is so good. And I'm so excited that you all committed to these 31 days. So listen, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. She said the cover says, Irene says, the cover says gratitude all over it. Yes, the outstretched arms. Listen, that wasn't me. That was God. God gave me this while I was praying. I wasn't even praying about the cover, but I was praying about something else. And when he started giving it to me, I was like, God, am I supposed to stop praying and write this down? Because I don't want to forget it. So I was like, you gave it to me, I'm writing it down. So I literally stopped and started writing down everything that he told me what the cover should look like. So can I tell you that he's already said that this is a bestseller? I can't tell you I know how. God said, this is a bestseller. I don't know how. I don't know all the things to marketing, right? I know how to train and teach and coach. But I don't know how. I don't know the plan that he has in place for it to be a bestseller. I just know it is going to be because he said it. And I believe it. And because he said it, that just settles it. So I'm just going to be open to the different ways that he give me. Whatever, if he say, LaShonda, you do this. If you say this on this live, do this. That's what I'm going to do because I don't know the plan. So I just have to follow him as I hear him. All right. And so listen, God bless you. God keep you. I love you all. Thank you so much for touching and agree. Oh, one more thing I need y'all to touch and agree on. Let me say this first. I don't drink, okay? I don't drink. But Hennessy had, thank you, Irene. Hennessy had a grant that they was offering to minority businesses, African-American businesses, Latino, and I hope I said that right, or should I say Hispanic? Help me out. Let me know, Irene. And Asian. Okay. And they offered a grant. I applied for the grant. I don't drink Hennessy. I don't drink liquor at all. I did apply for that Hennessy grant, though. They put it out there. And so I got an email a couple of days ago saying that my application was amongst other applications being reviewed. So I made it to I passed the initial round and I made it to the next round saying that my application was being reviewed was being reviewed to see if I was going to be awarded the grant. Now they're making this grant available to multiple businesses. And I think it is $10,000. $10,000 is a grant, so you don't have to pay it back. And so just touch and agree with me that I am one of the recipients of the Hennessy grant that is being fueled through 100 Black men out of Washington, D.C. All right. Irene, the application process closed on November 23rd, I think so. And so I'll look and see if they have another opening. So just touch and agree with me, y'all, that I do receive that email that says, congratulations, LaShonda. We are proud to announce that you have been selected as a recipient of the 100 Black Men sponsored through Hennessy grant and all of that good stuff. All right. All of that good stuff. Because I wrote to them. Look at what I wrote. Look at what I wrote, y'all. I said that one of the ways I would use this money, I told them that one of the ways that I would use the money is to provide professional development training for people who was looking to enhance their skills and make it free for them. I told them that I would make the training free for anybody who wanted, that I would do virtual trainings and I would do live trainings to be able to help them develop their skills so that they can become more marketable, especially if those who, if you've lost your job, and I want to provide for you soft skills that will help you be a little bit more marketable, or even possibly open up your own business, right? Create an opportunity for yourself. But I told them that if you would provide this money for me, the way that I would pay it forward is that I would not charge people for services. I would just let them come on in and get those services. That's what I said to them. Yep, that's what I said. So it wasn't about lacing my pocket. It was about serving my community. My community. That's what it was about. So pray for me. Pray for me. That I am a recipient of that grant. All right. Okay. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Annette, for touching and agreeing with me. Thank you, Marquita, for touching and agreeing with me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm looking forward to being able to say, ladies, guess what? Guess what? Thank you so much, Irene. I want to say, ladies, 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 guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It manifested. It manifested. It manifested. So let me let y'all go, because I could be with y'all all day. Okay, let me let y'all go. I love you. God bless you. And I look forward to seeing you all in the morning. All right. Thank you so much, Simone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.